All right, so session three, or session two, part three. In the last session, what we did is we went through the last little bit, we went through how to sort of think about this business. That was sort of the first part. How to get over the procrastination, how to get, how to build this business sort of a piece at a time. And then we got into how do you get clients in person? And I went through donut drops, I went through events, but I went through how to structure those things in a way so that you don't overwhelm yourself at first. The big key with everything that we're teaching, Eugene and I, is we've got to make sure that you guys understand. We've got to make sure that you guys understand that you got to build this business by going out there and getting in front of people, okay? That's how you start. Whether it be you're doing emails, whether it be you're doing in person, you got to get in front of as many people as possible with this. But like I said, there's a build. So with that first couple of parts that we did, if you haven't watched those yet, make sure you go back and watch them. We'll make sure you guys have the login to go watch those replays. This will be put in that same members area when we're done. But now let's sort of dive into this next part, which is part three, how to get clients from a distance. So here's sort of the key to this. We've got a core method. And then, like I said, sometimes I do Facebook ads to content, but the core method is enough to keep you going. All right. And here's sort of what I mean by that. Is I use a couple emails. Now, I'm going to be completely upfront with you guys. I've taught this method in a couple of other courses that were really, really expensive. We're not going to be going into all the depth that I went into with those courses, but you don't need to. I'm going to give you the two emails. I'm going to explain the psychology of those two emails, and I'm going to make sure that you guys are good to go on what you need to do when you try to get clients with email. How many of you are intrigued by the possibility that you could get clients on board with just a couple emails? Give me a big yes in the box if that's intriguing to you. Yeah. Here's the thing. Most people do email outreach wrong. I mean, extremely, extremely wrong. All right. And what I mean is they send one templated email out to everybody, and it's the exact same email. And that's a mistake. Why do they do that? Well, because they're lazy, number one. But number two, they don't understand that that doesn't work real well. All right? That does not work real well. Now, it's okay to use a template to build your emails, but you have to personalize your emails. When we talked about donut drops, actually walking into the business and introducing yourself and then following up with the business, is that a very personal thing? What do you think? Whether we're doing the donut drops or we're speaking at the events, what we covered in the last session, that's very personal, isn't it? Well, that's the idea. When you do these emails, you've got to make them seem very personal. You've got to come off like a real person. If you don't come off like a real person, you're going to come off like everyone else that's spamming their email inbox and your host. You're already at a disadvantage because you're just somebody behind an email address. Okay? When I do a donut drop, I'm not at that disadvantage because I'm in their office. I'm a real person that they have to deal with. With email, it's as simple as closing an email down. So you better do some good things in that email to get their attention. You better do some good things in that email to bond. Okay, so we got two emails. This is going to be two emails. The emails come in 7 days apart. You're looking for replies, opens, link clicks, and how you act depends on that. Now, here's the thing. With these emails, I have a challenge for you. Is everybody ready for the challenge? Because this is the secret to this. Okay? The secret to doing emails is I am challenging each and every one of you to send 10 emails a week. 10 emails a week. Now, the number one question that I'm going to get in the next 2 seconds that everybody's going to start typing in the box, why only 10 emails a week? Wouldn't it be better if I sent more than that? How many of you were thinking that? Well, why can't I send more than 10 emails every week? Wouldn't that be better? Here's the problem with that. It's not as simple as sending an email. You got to do your research. So here's what I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to think right now, what if I jump over to Facebook? What if I jump over to Facebook right now? I jump in the Facebook search box. And in that Facebook search box, I type city name, chiropractor. Everybody following me kind of what I'm talking about right now. It's not on your screen, but think about jumping over to the Facebook search box, type city name, chiropractor. You're going to get a bunch of results, but you're going to filter that by the places tab. So places tab. So city name, chiropractor, places tab. Now, you're going to have a bunch of chiropractors that pop up when you do that, depending on what city you typed in. And what I want you to do is when you go to those pages, I want you to look at a couple things. I want you to look at the pictures. I want you to look at how often they've posted. I want you to click over to their website. I want you to sort of snoop on them, okay? Because before you write these people, you're going to have to make sure you understand who they are. And for those of you that are saying, hey, Ben, give me a visualization. All right, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do real quick. I'm going to give you guys a visualization of what I was just talking about just in case, because it's important. Can everybody see Facebook on your screen just so I can give you a visualization? All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in, we're going to say St. Louis Chiropractor. Everybody got it? St. Louis Chiropractor. All right. And then you're going to go over here where it says places. Can everybody see places? Up here at the top, I'm circling it. Right? We click that. What that's going to do is it's going to filter out all the different places that we can go after, okay? Or at least a good start. Now, how you get better with this is typing in St. Louis Chiropractor is not actually that great a search. Why is that? Why is St. Louis Chiropractor not that great a search? Anybody know? Anybody know? It's too broad. The better way to be doing this would to be typing in a suburb in St. Louis. So like Clayton Chiropractor, Chesterfield Chiropractor. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to everybody? And when you type in some of the suburbs, and by the way, that's a Google search. That's a simple Google search to find out what those are. When you type those in, that's when you start finding out some good things, okay? And so we'll start finding these, but just dig into the suburbs. But that's going to get you some of these places. So when we do this, we're going to jump in and we're going to start to be able to break down who these people are and get some good information about them, find out their email address, find out their website. This is how I dig in and I start researching. But the core idea here is you want to get a sense of who these people are. Does everybody understand that before we move on? Everybody understand that before we move on? Remember, you want to be emailing a person, not a business. I want to have an idea of who I'm emailing. I want to find out, if I can, from the website or the Facebook page, who's working the front desk, who the doctor is, okay? William Wagner says, why not go to Pages? William, holy shit, go to Pages if you want. It's the same thing. Don't get overly technical on stupid stuff that doesn't matter, all right? It's a question that's fine, but it's the same thing. Do not get so up into details that you get blinded and you don't do things. All right, so moving forward, 2 emails. Are you ready for email number 1? Type the number 3 in the box. Type the number 3 in the box. All right, cool. So here's what we got. Here's what we got. So email number 1, this is it. Template number 1, this is what it's designed to do. It's designed to introduce you, to show common ground with the person that you're emailing, to explain what you do, and to call them to action. Does everybody understand those 4 things from at least a 10,000-foot view before we dig into it? Yeah, right? That's a pretty good email. Short, sweet, introduce me, show that we have some common ground. Basically, when I say common ground, tell them why you're emailing them, explain what you do, and call them to action. So here's the template real quick. And like I said, I've given this template out in a lot of my super expensive courses, but there's other pieces to that. But like I said, the magic is not in the email template, it's what you do with it, okay? The magic is not this template, it's what you do with it. So this is it. Stick with me as I explain these things. If you guys have any questions as I'm explaining this, feel free to ask, okay? So, subject lines. If you're doing what we're doing, I want you to write the name of the business, the name of the chiropractic clinic Facebook page. So, Clayton Chiropractic's Facebook page. Lafayette Chiropractic's Facebook page. Charleston Chiropractic Facebook page. Everybody understand that? Real simple. What that's going to do is that's going to trigger them to actually open up the email. It's a simple trick, but you talk about something that they own or that they work there, they're going to open up the email to make sure that nothing's broken in their business. Simple, simple. So this is what we're going to write. Hey, and I usually write the name of the doctor or the name of the person that works the front desk from my research that I did from the Facebook page and the website. Everybody got that? You want to pick out either the doctor or the person that works at the front desk, okay? So the idea here is if you have the email address of the doctor from their Facebook page or from their website when you were doing the research on the Facebook stuff, when we actually jump into there, if you have a doctor's email address, put the doctor's name. But if you have something like info at blah, blah, blah chiropractic, make sure you write the front desk person in there. Or the doctors, but that's fine. Just make sure you got somebody that works there and call them out by name. Everybody good so far with what we're doing with the name stuff? Okay, I know that seems simple, but I got to explain it. So from here, my name is Ben Atkins, and you could say that I've become a big fan of your office over the last month. I found your, when I write medium in here, when I write medium, what that means is pretty simple. When I write medium in the box, that means, what was it? Their Facebook page, their website, what was it? And like I said, I use this template for a lot of things here. All right. I found your Facebook page while I was searching for a chiropractor in St. Louis. So business niche chiropractor, St. Louis City. Since then, I've been watching a lot of what you do on your Facebook page. So what are we doing? This is sort of establishing common ground. You're telling them sort of how you found them, okay? I'm just saying, hey, I was looking for a chiropractor in St. Louis. Are you telling them you were looking for a chiropractor in St. Louis because you needed help with your back? Is that what we're saying here? Is that what we're saying here? No. So we're not being dishonest. We're telling them, hey, I was looking for a chiropractor in your area, which is true. Now, they don't know that you're not talking about not for back, that you're talking about because you were looking for clients. But you're telling them that, and then since then, I've been watching a lot of what you do on your medium. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a big online marketing nerd. How many of you that describes you? How many of you that describes you? I'm raising my hand to the sky. How many of you here that describes you? I'm a big online marketing nerd. And about a year ago, a few of my chiropractor friends asked me to help them with marketing themselves on their Facebook page. Okay? It worked so well for them that I started a company called, and my company's Content Defy, so that's what I put in here, to help other people do just that. Would this be something that would help your business right now? Let me know if you have questions. Excited to connect and chat. And then you write your name. Let me ask you a question. How many of you think you're going to get a response back from this email? How many of you think you're going to get be honest? How many of you think you're going to get a response back from this email? It's a great template, but you're not going to get a response. 99% of the time, you're not going to get a response with that email. But that's the idea. That's the genius of what we're about to do. The first email is not designed to get a response. It's designed to set up some deep psychological stuff that we're going to be leveraging in about 7 days when we email them again. Does everybody understand that to start? That we're not trying to get a response with that first email. Okay? I know maybe that's a little counterintuitive to what you may have thought we were doing, but just ride this train with me a little farther down the track, okay? So, I want you to think, we're sending out 10 of those emails a week, and the first email is not designed to get a response. Why is it not designed to get a response? Because they don't know you from Adam, and there's nothing really you can say in that first email that's probably going to get a response. You're just trying to make sure that you hit their inbox and that you have a history of writing them. Good so far? Everybody good so far with, hey, I'm okay with it not being open. I'm okay with it not being something that after they open it, they're not going to reply. Okay? All right. Very chill. Everybody can do that. There is no one in here, no matter what your situation, if you're listening to me right now, everybody here can send out those 10 emails every week, and you can personalize them. How long do you think that's going to take? It's going to take you 1 to 2 hours to research the business and send out an actual email to them. Is everybody okay with 1 to 2 hours? And by the way, you'll get faster at this, but 1 to 2 hours a week sending out 10 emails to potential clients. Okay? That's what we got. Okay, so that's week 1. The next week, not only are we sending out our 10 emails to new businesses, remember, you send your 10 emails out to new businesses every single week. You find 10, you send out 10 emails every single week. Now, here's the next part of it. That email is not going to get any response, but the next week, we're going to send each and every one of those people that we sent an email this week another email. Okay? Another email. So I want to make sure everybody's good. Does everybody understand that template? Okay. Here's email number 2. Here's email number 2. Email number 2 is this. Michelle, you don't have these yet. They're going to be in the replay, and I'm not sending you a Word document because it's simple. This is not rocket science, what I just showed you. Just copy it off the slide, okay? It's going to be that simple, I promise. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need a template. If I were to write this out, it's not really any value to write it out. Just copy it and make it yours. Make it your words, okay? But follow the template. Here's email number 2. Email number 2 is sent 7 days later. 7 days later is on purpose. We don't want to seem clingy. We don't want to seem like we're in a hurry. We don't want to seem like we're struggling for business, so we're emailing the crap out of them 2-3 days in a row. Does everybody understand that? Understand the way you act sends a message. Whether it's emails or in person, the way you act sends a message. So it's important to act a certain way. So email number 2 is sent 7 days later. And with this email, we're going to reintroduce ourselves. We're going to re-show the common ground that we showed before. We're going to explain what we do again, but we're going to link them to live examples. What's the live example that I want you guys to link them to? What's the live example that I want you guys to link them to? A Facebook page. A Facebook page. Maybe some specific Facebook post on that page. But the idea here is you don't need your own Facebook page. I'm going to link you to a page that you could actually do, which is our Magellan Chiropractic Facebook page. Okay? But here's what we're going to do. Here's the email. Hey there, Dave. So, hey, Dr. So-and-so. I emailed you about a week ago. Now, what are they going to do when you say that you emailed them about a week ago? Most likely, they probably won't remember the email that you sent because they opened it, they read it, they closed it. But I emailed you about a week ago. They're going to say, really? Did you? So they're going to check back and see if you actually emailed them a week ago. How many of you are starting to get a sense of what we've been doing here? How many of you are starting to get a sense of what we're doing here? Let me ask you a question. How many of you get a funny little feeling in your brain, a little tickle, maybe feeling a little bad when someone says they emailed you and you didn't write them back? How many of you start to feel a little funny when it's a personal email, even if you didn't know the person, and they call out that you didn't write them back? How many of you are starting to understand the purpose of the first email, even though it wasn't to get them to write you back on the first one? As I said, deep embedded human psychology. So here's what we say. I emailed you about a week ago. I found you. This is where we reestablish how they, where we kind of got into it. I found you by searching for a chiropractor in this city and have been accessing over your Facebook page since. Okay? That's in parentheses. I emailed you about a week ago about your Facebook page and a strategy that I've used with other chiropractors. And then the strategy is filling up their page with content so that people that are looking at your Facebook page, creeping on your business, understand that you've got something going on in the business. Okay? So Facebook content strategy. All right? I hadn't heard back from you yet, so I wanted to reach out and show you some of the work I've done for my other clients. You can also say and show you an example of the kind of work I do for other clients if you don't have any past clients or you don't have any past work that you can link them to. Does everybody understand the distinction here? If you've never done this before, you can just say, I wanted to reach out and show you an example of the kind of work that I do. Make sense? And then you can link them. So here's what I do. Number one, link them directly to the Facebook page. Number two, link them to a Facebook post. Link them to a couple Facebook posts. Does everybody know how to link directly to a Facebook post instead of a page? Give me a yes if you do know. Give me a no if you don't. Okay, so we're going to cover that because I got you guys covered. For those of you that do know, don't worry, but let me show you this real quick. So I'm going to hop out of here. And I'm going to jump back into our Magellan Chiropractic example. Let me know when it pops up on your screen. Let me know when it pops up on your screen here. Okay, good. So let me know when you see this post pop up because it's not popped up yet. Can everybody see this post? The treadmill post? Like I said, this is not promising them that you're going to give them the treadmill post. I don't want anybody to think that. It does not matter what posts are up on this page, whether you have them in one of your packs or not. We're just showing them examples of the quality of what you do. So can everybody see here where it says 3 hours? If I were to go down below here, 3 hours. If I were to keep going, we'll find some from previous days. Here's 20 hours ago. Does everybody understand that you can click on these? So if I click on this, this opens up like this. But you'll also notice that when you click on this in the hour mark, or if you keep going farther, the day mark, if I click on this, then I get a different URL at the top of the screen. So, for instance, I click on this at the top of the screen, this URL opens up, and you can copy that, and that is a direct link to what we've got. Does that make sense to everybody? So, when we get into this email, link them to the page, link them to a couple different posts, and then say, take a look and let me know what you think. I'd love to chat and talk about how we can work together. Your newest fan, Ben Atkins, or your name. So let me ask you a question. Robert says better use a Bitly for that link. No, because they're not going to see the link. You don't have to mask it with Bitly because they're not going to see the link. The link's going to be embedded in text, right? So don't worry about that so much. So here's the thing. With this system that I've shown you so far, do you think you're going to get some replies to the second email that comes several days later, and why? Why are you going to get some replies to the second email? What do you think? Two big things. Two big things. Number one, you made them feel guilty for not replying to your first email, even though you sent them a very lovely first email. That's number one. That's something we're going to put in their head. We don't call it out like, oh my gosh, we're super offended that you didn't reply to us. We're not going to talk about that. But what we are going to do is we're going to make sure that they understand we emailed you and you didn't email us back, and we were very kind. And that's what this text does. But the big thing, number two, about this email is that we've got links to show them something visual to our work. One of the number one mistakes people make when they email out to people is they don't include links to their work. And that's sort of important. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that? So that's the idea. That's the idea. Larry says too many links equals not delivered. Yeah, in a general sense, Larry, but Larry, buddy, you're overthinking this. How many of you are doing what Larry's doing and you're already coming up with ways why this won't work for you? Let me get into some real stuff here. How many of you are already coming up with things in your head as to why this isn't going to work for you? Let me just say this. That's okay. You need to go do something else and work for someone else, because if you're the kind of person that's coming up with reasons already that this is not going to work for you, you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurs that make this work they don't come up with excuses. If you do things, you're going to run into problems, but you're going to solve them. If you're talking yourself out of taking action before you even start, you're not going to make it. That's real talk, and I want to make sure I do some real talk with you guys on this stuff, okay? Point is if you decide, hey, this stuff's not going to work and you don't do it, that's cool. More business for me and everyone else that will do it. And that's okay. Like I said, if you don't think it'll work or you're coming up with ways that it won't work, that's fine. Don't do anything. Sit and keep doing what you've been doing. And that's more business for all of us that are out here doing. And like I said, I don't need anybody in here to be convinced that this works. I'm just going to keep doing it every week. And the folks that I've taught that are action takers will keep doing it every week too. All right, I'm picking on you a little bit, those of you that have that negative voice in your head. But what I'm trying to really say to all of you is, if you've got that negative voice in your head, you've got to beat the holy hell out of it and get rid of it by doing. Cool? Makes sense to everybody? Good. And I'm just telling you guys, do you think that there was a time that I had that negative voice in my head too? Of course there was. And I beat it to death because I was taking action. So, real quick question. Does everybody understand the two emails? Give me a yes if so. Those two emails work. Can every single one of you send 10 emails a week to new people and then follow up with the 10 you emailed before the next week? So 20 emails a week. Does that make sense? Jamie says, what does the list strategy mean in this email? Basically, Jamie, it is, what are you actually doing? So that I've done with other chiropractors, and then I say, posting to their Facebook page to breed awareness with their market. Just a real quick summary of what you're actually selling, right? Okay, so that's the templates. Now I got one more thing for you. What happens if they reply to your email? What happens if they reply to your email? Talk to them about setting up a meeting. Panic, I love it. Talk to them about setting up a meeting. Just say, hey, is there a time I can talk with you on the phone about this? Simple. What's the best time? I have Monday at 3 and Friday at 8 a.m. Give them a couple times. See what's good. Tell them it'll take 15 minutes. Get a call with them. Walk them through the process. Okay? Walk them through the process. what if they don't reply? What can you do? Would you like one more strategy to stack on top of these 2 emails? You can resend one of the emails, or you can do what I do. I sit down after I've sent all my emails that week, and I usually do all my emails, my 10 emails to the people that are brand new, my 10 emails to reply to the people from the week before with email number 2. I get on the phone and I say basically this. I get on the phone with their front desk and say, hey, I emailed you guys a couple times in the last couple weeks and I've not heard back. And I just wanted to make sure that you'd seen, kind of what I'm doing. And if I could talk to the doctor about this, helping you guys with your Facebook stuff. Why is that different than cold calling? Because some of you, what I just said just scared the crap out of you because you're like, that's not going to work. It's different because you've established 2 different emails and you told them on the phone, I've been emailing you and nobody's gotten back to me. Very kind how you said that, but when you get on the phone, you call the business and say, hey, I emailed and I hadn't heard back from you guys. I wanted to just make sure you didn't have any questions about the examples that I sent and what we're doing with Facebook pages for chiropractors. And I wanted to know if I could speak to the doctor for 10, 15 minutes and walk them through what we're doing. Simple. Now, is every office you call going to be receptive to that, even after 2 emails? No, but do you have to win every single office out of the 10 that you've done from the week before? No. You have to, listen, you have to close a very small percentage of all the people that you call and all the people that were emailed. It's simple. But does everybody understand, based on the numbers that I gave you in the previous session, does everybody understand how if you do this, it will get you to your numbers? Does that make sense? Remember, first month, we're just trying to close. We're just trying to close 2. We're just trying to get our feet set. But you keep doing this, you'll get better. Remember what I said about donut drops? Remember what I said about that? It's when you get into this, it's all about consistency. If you didn't watch the first session, go back and watch it. You should have an email from me with access to that replay from Serial Progress Seeker. If you didn't get that, drbenhelton.com. Okay? What days of the week have you had the best responses? Roger, that's a great question. Roger, I email out on Wednesdays. I like middle of the week. Middle of the week. Lorelei says, what's the minimum size office you're emailing? Lorelei, I'm just going to tell you right now because I love you. That is a question that only someone who is trying to come up with excuses would ask. Email them all if their Facebook page looks like they need the service. Okay? Don't worry about that. That is in your head crap that does not matter. And I'm not picking on you. I just want you to understand, you get in there and you rock it. Nobody that's actually doing this gives a damn about the minimum size office that we're after, whether it's a donut drop or not. If they're in business and then their Facebook page looks like what I told you about in the first setup, go after them. Don't worry about how big their office is, okay? Go rock it out. Help these people, okay?